Hey, everybody. It's Mike Sokol and James Lubomski. So we're going to be doing a podcast here in just a minute.
Very nice.
My people. I know, too many buttons. All right, yeah. I'm Mike Sokol from RVelectricity. I've been teaching here all week because I'm a glutton for punishment. We've been adding podcasts, these live streams in the afternoon, and I've invited James Lubomski, and you are the educational director.
I'm the education director for the Pennsylvania Recreational Vehicle.
And if you don't know who PRVCA is, they put on the Hershey Show.
Yeah, we are the people that brought all of this wonderfulness to you.
Yeah, so they do it all the time. I've been out here for, I don't know, 6 or 8 years or whatever. And I do a lot of this. I teach this, and I also do a lot of my own video podcasting and such. So I thought I would bring it portable. And guess what? We're portable, man.
We're here.
We're on the road. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about the what PRVCA, what your mission is for training.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you a little bit about what I do within it. And then we can talk about future possibilities.
So the PRVCA over the last few years has been developing educational opportunities for all of our members. And this ranges from having certification classes, RV technical certification classes that we partner with RVCA to provide,
right,
up to providing individualized training from various OEMs throughout the year. And of course, partnering with wonderful people like you to help improve the knowledge and training and education.
And you have got some really great educators here. I mean, I think the best, period.
On Mondays and Tuesdays at the show, it's open for the industry personnel only.
Right.
And the industry personnel come and they have some outstanding training and education for many of those. And then throughout the week, we have a public seminars, which I think really helps many of the people here, first-time buyers, even second-time buyers, learning a little more about the potential they have with their units that are either going to buy or have already in the business.
Right. And you've got a number of training rooms. I get the big one up here, which is what Champions.
The Champions Club, which is up on the
which 150 people-ish, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a variety of other rooms down here that are utilized throughout the day for the smaller classes.
Yeah, we have the opportunity. The Giant Center allows us to have 4 rooms to provide sessions and seminars on.
Right.
And we have those booked throughout the entire show.
And and there's always something going on.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have anything in the afternoons, and that's when I said I'd go ahead and try this. We've done 4 of these live podcasts, and this is just a test to see how you guys like this. We did one on fire safety. We did one on lithium battery technology, and we talked about surge protectors. And today we're just talking about educating, because a lot of this stuff is completely foreign to a residential power, to a house. You don't have stuff like this in your house.
Correct. There are things that are similar, or if you have a little bit of knowledge on how to do basic maintenance in your home, some of those skills may transfer.
Right.
But they're not identical or similar.
Right. And what I found is you have to be careful not to just hire a residential electrician to work on your RV.
Correct. You
really want somebody that's had some sort of RVTI training, that has the background, because not many of your houses have got 12 volts DC in them. I'm pretty sure you don't do dump valves on your house.
Right.
There's all of these things. It's the first time you do them, it is just completely bizarre. And towing safety is another one that you guys cover.
Correct. Right. In fact, Trey is handling some of the towing safety and the safety aspect. And he has 3 sessions here at the show, and they are always standing room only.
Yeah. And it's something that is not obvious. And it's one thing to take a little cargo trailer that weighs a couple thousand pounds and stick it behind your RV,
right,
or should be behind your tow vehicle. It's another thing to put an RV that weighs as much or more as your tow vehicle.
Correct. And it's also many people want to go out, they want to enjoy their RVing.
Right.
And we always suggest to try and make sure that you learn as much as you can about your RV and what is required to have the most enjoyable experience before before setting out on your experience. And that might be making sure that you have the proper tires on your feet, you have the proper tires on the unit, making sure that everything is safe and ready for you. Some of the things that are shared here at the show are making sure that you do a dry run, put everything into your unit that you are planning to take with you on your trip, and take it for a drive around the neighborhood for 20 or 30 minutes. See how it handles. Especially if you've never done this before. Not many people have the experience of towing anything behind their vehicle in whatever kind of weather it might be.
Right.
That is rather heavy. So it takes there's a little bit of a learning curve.
Right. And what I do is any trip that I'm going on starts a week before I leave for the trip, because I'm putting stuff in. I'm measuring tongue weight. I'm looking to see if I have all the stuff that I want, and you're going through, and then I'll go out, hitch it up. I'll check my weight transfer hitch. I'll take it for a ride around town to make sure everything looks good. I'll take it on a 20-minute ride on the interstate to make sure everything is good out there. Bring it back, unhitch, while I'm out, wash down the solar panels. My wife says, "You're not leaving for a week." I said, "Well, I'm treating this," because she knows, because I'm a pro audio guy. We test everything. I set all this stuff up and test it sitting there in the back of my RV, and then you won't put it all back in a case, and now you've got everything. And then we hope you didn't forget anything.
Right. It's a bit of a learning curve. That's
right.
Something we like to share. It's nothing that is challenging or overwhelming or anyone would need to ever be afraid of. There are just things you need to prepare for, like if you're going to go on any trip or go on any kind of excursion.
Right.
And what you prepare for and plan.
And what we would do when we were young kids, and my dad, we were getting ready to go camping, he'd have us camp out in the yard first. We'd be in our little pup tent.
Yeah.
And he'd say, "Okay, we're pretending we're leaving. Guess what? We're going to put this together." Because he was in the Army, he was
right.
you could try this stuff. So I highly recommend your first boondocking trip is just in your driveway.
Sure.
Just try it. They say, "How long are my batteries going to last my CPAP machine?" I said, "Well, I'm not sure, but guess what?
There's a way to
just do it. A way to find out. Just put it out there, turn it on, see how it works." And a lot of people don't think about that. And our educators here, they go through everything like first steps for when you're considering an RV, or what you do for maintenance. I focus on electricity, but I have a lot of safety background too, because I've done a lot of towing and driving all around the country. But electricity, I think, is enough for me to take care of. Occasional foray into other stuff, but I think that this is just a great opportunity to teach, because I write constantly and I love teaching. I learn more from students asking questions than anything.
I do know that your sessions and the topics that you provide education and training on are some of the most popular sessions we've ever had here at the show.
I get a lot of people in here because the slides that I put up are based on the questions that people have asked me previously.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask questions. So what are we thinking about for future stuff now that are we liking this podcast, webcast streaming stuff?
Sure. I hope that the public does.
Yeah.
Let them have the information, and don't be afraid to ask questions or stop by and chat with them.
So right now I don't have all of the stuff set up, and what the next phase of this, I'll have extra screens up so that I can actually have live questions coming in from the outside.
Right.
We can drag them over here and get them going, but it's a little more complicated. This was just phase one of this. But once we've got this in place, now you're not just watching this now, you could watch this forever.
Yes.
And I think, for instance, if we add on to it next year, then what can happen? This is become a library of things. I would love to get I'd love to get Trey in here to do 15 to 30 minutes to talk about stuff. And each of them, of course, everybody here that's got stuff that's worth training about, right? There's tremendous brain
that is
trust
my
here.
job, yeah.
Tremendous brain trust here. There really is. So I think that would be fabulous. Any other ideas? What can people do to help maximize their enjoyment when they're camping?
One of the things that is recommended to maximize enjoyment is just know what your limitations are, what you want to do, where you would like to go.
Right.
And don't. I hear two of my favorite people say this all the time. Don't be afraid.
Right.
Just don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
Nothing horrible can happen. Don't be afraid. Go out, enjoy it. If you make some mistakes, you can learn from them.
Right.
Nothing can happen while you're out enjoying your RV that cannot be corrected and learned from and enjoyed later.
Right. And one thing that I do know is, however many miles you think you can drive during a day in your car, it's a lot less when you're towing an RV.
Yes.
It just is. So allow plenty of time. Don't say, I can drive 800 miles a day solo in a
Right.
Sprinter.
Right.
I can't do that.
No.
I'm like 300-400 miles. I can do 500 from
Right.
Maryland to Indiana, and I am whipped because that's a 10-hour drive in an RV. It's a lot of driving.
It is a lot of driving.
And I'm doing it solo. If you've got somebody that you can switch off, then it's much easier. But I'm saying, why the rush? Take your time, give yourself an extra day, stop and see some sights. I love the roadside things. I like to see muffler men. I think they're hilarious. Down in Virginia, there's a giant roller skate that you could actually fit a Volkswagen in.
Wonderful.
At a roller rink.
Okay.
Because what else are you going to put outside of that?
Right.
I love stuff like that. Out in Olive, California is the largest olive thing. I mean, this thing must be 6 feet tall on a pedestal. I don't know why I like this stuff, but
one of the things that I hear from many RVers is it's not the destination that makes it, it's the journey to the destination.
Right.
And that's pretty much what you're describing. You won't, if I just want to go visit the city and hang out in the city or hang out at a location, I can hop on a plane and go there. Or
Right.
hop on a train and go there.
Right.
That's really, really nice. But you really don't have the experience of traveling to that destination the same way as you would if you were going there using your car.
Right. And I like to stop in small towns. I like to find out where the little roadside restaurants are.
Yeah.
When I'm down in Texas and, they got it looks like a big tin shack and it's got a sign out there that says best barbecue in Texas. That's fighting words, baby. Right.
Right.
Know it. And some of my best memories, you got a bottle of Lone Star beer and they got a big tub full of ice, with a horse trough. And you're walking around with a thing of beer and you're ordering your brisket. And, I'm going, this is just amazing. So much fun.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, I really enjoy about this. And I tend to like to be out in the woods a little more. One of my buddies likes to do what he calls wilderness camping.
Okay.
This is why I'm focusing a lot on battery power and solar power and that kind of stuff, because campgrounds are very, very crowded now.
Some are, yeah.
And so I like getting out from it, but I really enjoy teaching. So a lot of what I do is I'm either here. I will be at the Tampa show this year. I'll be out at Quartzsite.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to do both at once,
even
though they overlap with the same weekend.
Yeah,
I've got a way to be in two places at once. And
you are their magic man, Mike.
I guess. But of course, I will be back here for next year, and hopefully we can add some more educational components as we go along.
What other things do you see in the future for your educational goals?
I want to do more RV technician training, but I really, really want to do things for campgrounds. Okay. So I've got a large background in power safety, and making sure pedestals are wired correctly, and also designing campgrounds for the new coming wave of EVs, because the stuff is coming, and there are even RVs that have got built-in electric motors that drive themselves, push themselves behind. So nobody seems to be preparing it. I want to be the liaison between the various industries. I want to go out to the Salton Sea and see the lithium extraction project where they're going to be building lithium batteries. It's going to be cool. There's also one in Germany. I probably have a better chance of getting out there, but to Salton Sea out in California. But I have a whole article on it. It's absolutely amazing. So I'm just always driven by the latest technology that's happening as it relates to what regular people are asking. So half of my job is to work with engineers. Okay. So I'm always a liaison between the engineers, and I do a lot of testing and development work and feature set work. But then what I'm trying to do is correlate that to what do the people want? And so that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm supposed to be retired. That's the theory. Now I'm doing more of this than I've ever done before, but this is the stuff I want to do.
I do know that many of the classes that you held, that I had the opportunity to sit through and enjoy. The presentation that you provide, how you teach people about electricity, how to work with it, how to manage it, how to
Be safe around it.
be safe around it,
Right.
troubleshoot it. All of that is your delivery makes it seem simple. You have a knack to help people who think that there's some magical thing going on behind some curtain that nobody will allow them to know. And you're like, no, this is very simple. Imagine it this way, and you will give them examples that help
Right.
people truly understand this is how electricity works. You have to be careful,
Right.
because it's not 2 buckets of water. It's electricity. It's not this, but it's electricity. But it flows. It has the same kinds of things.
And I go and I create my own test demonstration gear, because none of this stuff exists.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody, I really discovered electricity when I was 4 years old. I truly did. I remember the moment when I figured this out with a big 1.5 volt dry cell, big one like that.
Okay.
And a light bulb and a paper clip. The light bulb came out of my little train that I got for Christmas. I was tearing stuff apart. And then at that point, I got this idea. I said, I see what's going on with the paper clip and the light bulb in this. I could see the flow. If I put the paper clip across it, it just got red hot. If I put the bulb in the middle of it, I looked and I said, whatever was going on in that paper clip is now going on inside of the glass bulb. So I tell everybody that, I basically look at the wonder. I remember the wonder of discovering how this worked when I was 4. And then I just kept going bigger and bigger and bigger in terms of career and all kinds of other stuff. But I still break it down into some of the simplest concepts. And, I've got guys that have been engineers and they say, I've never really thought about it like that. And I go, I'm a 4-year-old playing with this stuff. You guys went to school for this. I went to school later,
right,
after learning all of it. So that's why I think, and a lot of times, I spend a lot of time trying to get it simple enough for people to understand. And this is why I like questions. If I don't get any questions, I haven't done my job.
Well, the nice thing is, because you make it simple, you also remove that fear factor that people have with working with it. Right. You say you give them, here's the boundaries that you need to make sure you stay within to be safe. And for everything else is fair game. Try it,
test it, see what it is. Here's something you can buy for $15. Here's $30. Here's the stuff. And and I remember back in the 70s working with when I was a packaging design guy. I was doing robotics and pneumatics and all that. I had a couple mechanical engineers in there that were geniuses at mechanical, but they were terrified of electrical. And they'd say, you just make it work. Just make it work. And I said, but you guys know what you wanted to do. And they said, just make it work, because we don't want to know. They said, we can't see it. And that's the problem, I think.
Yeah.
I see it in my mind's eye. And now what I'm trying to do is showing you guys, lift the blanket a little bit. You can look under there. You can see how this works. And to me, it's important because, gosh, we're surrounded with electricity.
Yeah.
And the more you know about your RV, now you will know about your electricity at your house. You understand more about checking a fuse in your car. This empowers you, I think. Yeah. I really honestly believe that. And so I think it's this is my mission, is to just simplify this to the point where everybody can understand it. Perfect. All right. Are we all good?
I think so.
Okay. Should I play a little music out?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Because we can. Yeah. My people.
Very nice.
All right, guys. We will see you next time. And thanks for watching.
Thanks, Mike.